Hilai Rastafari Selassie I. Once again, welcome to Higher Heights Reasoning. This Ras Kamona speaking here. Yes, I would like to talk a little bit about what are going around us in terms of economics, finance, and a little bit of politics, because you cannot separate politics and economics and finance. These they intertwine among each other. Yes, I. The first thing, it's about the situation on how the politicians are managing our African countries, right? The fuel, first and foremost, is getting up and up. The prices is getting higher and higher, and they're pointing a blame to Russia, President Vladimir Putin, right? Of which they're just trying just to scapegoat Mr. Putin, because the economic situation was dwindling even before COVID in 2019. It was dwindling the economy. So in short, the message is the politicians, they need to smell the coffee. What they need to do, as they increase the prices of basic needs of our people, such as groceries, water, electricity, and transport, they really need to look on how the workers are struggling. So they really need to increase their salaries, because it doesn't make sense you increase the salary of the employee and also you increase the salary, and also you increase the commodities or the goods, right? So it means that all the time the employees, they will be having deficit in regard to them meeting their needs in their households, right? So the politicians, they really need to smell the coffee. They really need to increase the wages and the salaries of the employees. That is the message. Why? Because tax was about 48% of the, was about 40 something percent of the companies. I think between 30% to 40%. Yeah, that was the tax which each and every what company which is registered with the revenue what offices, the amount which they used to pay from their revenue, they used to pay about 30 to 40% tax to the revenue offices. But what has happened recently, the tax of the companies has been reduced to about 27%, and of which the income tax of the employee is increasing more and more and more. Yeah, so it simply means that the politician, they're only taking care of the business people, right? So this strategy is not working, right? So as politicians, I think they really need to run the countries in a mixed kind of economy. Like there's a little bit of capitalism, a little bit of capitalism, and more communism and more socialism, right? To make a balance, right? So yeah, that is about the salaries of our people. And the other thing also is about the currency. The currency needs to be relooked at, because the weakening of the currency has been orchestrated, right? The weaker the currency is, the more the business people they can export, right? And of which is not on. So this needs to be relooked at. You know, you'll be so embarrassed, especially if you travel from South Africa, you go to other African countries or even overseas, how weak the rand is, of which this is not on. So the rand needs to be reduced. We need to be brought to those levels of when Thabo Mbeki used to be a president, in short, right? At least it needs to be around 5-7 rand to a dollar in comparison to what is happening now, right? So that's really needs to be relooked at. Then the other thing it's about the grants. The grants are unsustainable, right? The money which they are spending on the grants, they need to convert it into tokens. Let them allow the so-called youths to help to clean up the environments by them being paid as they collect plastics, all sorts of elements which have got effect on our environment, right? So I think that's how they need to restructure this, because they are spending so much money on garbage collection, right? And they're spending a lot of money on grants, right? So the youths, they need to be empowered, right? They need to work for their money, right? Than just being given grants, they fold their arms or like that, you know. So that's how they need to relook at in terms of the grants, right? Because it is not sustainable. Then the other thing is the politicians, they need to stop renting. How can reigning parties not have offices to conduct their businesses? They are renting. You'll be so amazed. Home affairs, they are renting. What even some other official buildings where the activities must be conducted, they are renting. So they need to buy land and build permanent buildings where the offices and where the employees who provide service delivery to our people, they can conduct their activities. Because if they have buildings of their own, they need to be sustainable than renting. This is not sustainable also. So this strategy, it really needs to be relooked at, right? So in short, from high heights reasons, I think that's all what we can say. Thank you very much.